We do go over that.
What differentiates when the baby comes? Like,
You really want it to be at like, they won't induce you till 39 weeks. You want naturally to come at 38, 37 at the earliest, because the lungs are developing 35, 36, 37. So that's why often you're on a ventilator. If you're born at 34 or 35, they put you on oxygen or a ventilator and your lungs have to form. They put you in like a tube, like a blue light and stuff.
someone said this baby comes early because they want to, or is it something that induces?
Oh, you're saying if they come at 34 weeks?
No, like, is it something that induces the birth early or induces it late?
So
The baby's late.
my wife had her sac was leaking the embryonic fluid, and that it must have had like a small hole in it. If it's leaking, that could be dangerous to the baby. Like it like collapse on them, and so they push it out. They give you the she was maybe 36 weeks for our first one, 6.5 pounds. 37 or 38 for the second one, and then the first day of 39 weeks for the third one. They're 7.5 pounds, 8.5 pounds for that last dude. They gain like a pound a week the last 3 weeks. They get fat. And you want to, so they kind of force their way out. They weigh so much.
I'll get it now.
Okay.
Like something has to happen for it to be either early or later.
What's that?
I was looking at the time, and I noticed we get out like after over an hour.
It's an hour and 15 because it was only 2 days a week.
Yeah. So,
It sucks, doesn't it? I try to put stuff online for you guys. So if we finished 10 minutes early.
How do babies like come out the womb and breathe?
Well, they do have to like get them to naturally.
Because they don't know how.
Yeah, they have no idea. So crying is a big one. Anybody you want to answer that? What would you say gets them to breathe?
They cry.
My kids both came out. I had C-sections, so my birthing experience was
Different
than your wife's.
Yeah.
I had my baby, my first son, my oldest son. I had him at 37 weeks because it's like an average. They thought he was weighing at 11 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
So
Were they right?
What did he weigh when he came out?
So he was actually 10 pounds 4 ounces.
Okay.
But still, that's a really big
Yeah.
thing.
Uh-huh.
And I was y'all's age. I was like 21 when I had him, and so or maybe older than y'all.
Yeah.
But I'm only 19. Sorry. I was 20. Well, I was around y'all's age, right? But
We basically 20. If the doctor
yeah, but no, when I had him, he was 10 pounds 4 ounces, and I was in labor for 54 hours, and I really did try to push, but I was just really too tired.
Yep.
So then
Is it like constant labor?
Right,
so the contractions, yeah, they were, and then just got worse and worse.
You didn't get out the drawer or anything?
I did, yeah.
It probably wore off.
Yeah, so it wore off, and so then I was just like, I can't do that. So as far as your wife, like people say they felt pressure, I felt, but they don't put you to sleep or anything, so you feel them like cut down there. It's like right by your vagina line between your stomach. Right here, because their epidural wears off.
It don't stay forever.
But then they end up giving, I think it's, what is it, Vicodin?
Yeah.
So then they give you Vicodin. After.
Yeah, they give you pain pills. Yep.
So while they actually like cutting your something, like you could too.
If your epidural wears off, like I was in labor. I just couldn't. I just was.
You're probably tired, right?
Really tired.
Yeah.
And so I didn't get to like hold him or anything because when he was first born, because I was just so tired and I had to have like a blood transfusion. I was messed up with the first one. I was in the hospital like 15 days after I gave birth.
How's he doing today?
Oh my goodness. My son is 11. He wears a size 12 shoe.
Nice.
And he's 5'8". He's tall.
Oh, he came out big.
11?
He's only 11.
He came out big. Man, you could, is it Day? You can pass down shoes to him.
I got 13.
You're size 12, right?
Yeah, I got some 12, 13.
Even the beat up ones, you just pass them down.
Hook them up. And then the second one was similar. Is that's
No, he was fine. Just once you have a C-section.
you always do it, right?
You can have a VBAC, but after, like, so it's where you can have a vaginal birth, but they have, like, it like had so many complications, I just opted for a C-section.
Yeah. Well, and then if they do it with the epidural, you hopefully don't feel them cut you on the second one. Did they?
Oh, no, it was just scheduled. I just,
Yeah.
they said, come in at 4 a.m. and you'll give birth at 6 a.m. And I did, and it was just, I was ready to give that birth.
Wow.
That sounds like your.
No, I was ready, and this one will be a C-section too, like, just go ahead and take the baby out.
So was
Like,
did you already have the second? And this is 3?
This is,
Okay. And then how old is the second one?
so, my kids are 11, and my son has a birthday in a couple weeks, so I'll just keep 11 and 10.
Okay.
oh,
Yeah.
okay.
That's like, well, my Irish twins, we
Not kids?
Dang, your kids.
Like they both girls? Or they
Right,
both
bro,
boys?
what?
They both boys?
Yeah, they came for me. Yeah, they're boys.
Okay, that's cute. I was saying, because like, they, like, yeah.
Are they brothers or brothers and sisters?
If I have an ultrasound on my appointment Monday, Tuesday, I'll tell you guys what.
Oh my
Oh, yeah.
gosh, that's so cute.
did you wait for 20 weeks to do that?
Okay, I pick a girl.
So I'll be 13 weeks.
Okay.
No.
They do the blood test?
You know, it depends if my insurance is gonna cover.
Oh, right. No, I know.
So if my insurance don't cover it.
See, that's why the geriatric pregnancy is so good. They cover everything. When you're 35, they cover
I'm
everything.
1 year off.
I know, right? Yeah. Yep. Yeah, so basically most 13 weeks is the end of the first trimester. That's like the hardest period to get through. So like the first 13 weeks is the hardest to get through. That's
How come?
so many things can go.
Like your body
Is changing, like it's getting, what's the word? Basically, like you're growing a lot inside you. So like I'd say the first, I know it's different for everybody, but basically, yeah, like you're growing a lot, like the light side, like basically, not in a bad way, but something else is taking over your body. So that's why it's so bad. And then
Like you could have your period and that could shed the uterine lining that the baby was attached to. So that's why we had to take progesterone, because that tells the body not to shed the uterine lining. The baby's attached to it. But the older you get, the less progesterone you could produce. So that's why older pregnancies, they'll give you progesterone shots. What else can happen? Some people don't know they're pregnant, so that could be one thing.
I don't know how.
Right.
I'm pregnant, y'all.
Well,
I was just always in the
No, go ahead, Ray.
You're gonna wear blue or pink on Tuesday.
Oh,
And
you-
it's gonna be a whole thing.
Oh, that's true.
Team girl.
right.
Yeah, I need a girl.
Wait,
Yeah, seriously.
You gonna dress up on Thursday? Cause ain't y'all planning on Tuesday?
Monday.
Oh, it's on Tuesday.
So come in Tuesday.
We gonna come in not knowing nothing, if we gonna find out or not,
Since I
but.
want me to bring, if I do, whenever I have it, since we're in here till December 4th, am I allowed to bring in cupcakes?
Hell yeah, you bring in whatever you want.
As long as I don't be spitting at them.
Yeah, you just revealed. I'm excited.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
like,
What's your name? I'm Angel.
Angel, yes, Angel's baby.
This is what we bought.
Oh, you should get that tattoo. That's fire.
Oh.
If you have a HSA, it's the health savings account. They do take a HSA, but again, it's freaking $80. So I was like, I guess so. Like, and I was,
See, I have other kids and stuff, so I'm just like, that's school clothes or something.
oh yeah. It's definitely something.
That would be great.
Yes.
Yeah, you got it.
Oh, yeah.
Y'all forgot I thought it was at 3 o'clock. I was sitting around until 2:22.
I don't like any.
Have you guys seen? Okay. Here's the insemination video.
To which a catheter is attached. Then the speculum is
This is
introduced into the vagina,
artificial.
allowing the entrance of the neck of the uterus to be
That's-
less visible. The catheter that has been charged.
You said, is it a YouTube?
Is it a uterus? Like,
That would be, that looks like the vaginal canal, and then the sperm has to go through the cervix because it would be
Is that
open.
a needle?
You need to have mucus to get pregnant. So that's another way they test. Like if there is no mucus, it can't carry the sperm. And that's called the Creighton method. I guess Dr. Creighton figured that out. Like if you don't have mucus, you really aren't that fertile. As the sperm can't survive without mucus in the vaginal canal. So
But with sperm is introduced high into the uterus, and the sperm ascends through the fallopian tubes, arriving at the area where the oocyte is located, and fertilization of the oocyte is facilitated.
only one gets in somehow. That's the,
the
They like-
egg gets to choose.
what's that?
I heard the egg gets to choose like which one, like even if it's
Which-
not the first sperm,
Which one smells good? They're like,
the egg, yeah.
you put on that Axe deodorant, didn't you?
Like, what? That don't smell good.
That is funny though that it's all going for artificial insemination. As I was trying to look for one that was how to inseminate at home with frozen sperm. I didn't know people did it on their own. Like you do it
I was just
yourself.
gonna say that on this show, Jane the Virgin,
What?
the girl got inseminated by the wrong man. So his girlfriend, who was originally supposed to get inseminated by him, she
What?
like took his sperm from the donor place and went home and put it up herself with the turkey basically. So I was
In the
wondering
kitchen.
if
That's
that
how.
was who?
No.
No, Jay got his original sperm from the doctor, but his wife who was supposed to
How
go
she
in
get
there and
pregnant?
get it, it was an accident.
Like,
They did that, but she was going in for a pap smear, like just to get checked, and the girl was drunk, and she was going, and it was the baby dad's sister who was the doctor. So the baby dad's sister was drunk at her doctor's office, and she went in to give Jane her pap smear, but she thought it was the wrong patient, so she put his sperm in her. Yeah, she
that's
got pregnant.
messy. I gotta watch that. That shit
It's
is.
so messy.
What?
They do. Y'all never got
I would've
They got some weird TV shows nowadays.
And then the girl who artificially inseminated herself, she ended up having twins. So they just became a big
Oh.
happy family. And he was going marry Jane, married and his other baby mom.
He's
They all lived together at one point in time.
Okay.
I like that.
I like that show.
Of course, it's that test. Oh yeah, it is. It's like a tough. It is.
Yeah, that's why it's so dramatic.
They don't speak Spanish.
The grandma.
Yeah, it's funny though.
I don't know why, like maybe because I wrote insemination. So this one would be, here's the first trimester. So here's kind of what it looks like. It's the 5 to 10 weeks is the most big of a deal.
The Federal Reserve Bank of
Oh, here we
just
go.
issued a digital
Commercials.
effectively replacing paper money with nothing.
This animation is brought to you by the Nucleus Medical Art Library,
As a male, I actually have
where
a
you can
baby.
download this animation and thousands.
Somebody who identifies as male or somebody who is assigned male gender at birth. Because that's,
A sign like
I like how you put the word.
you're like a.
you mean
sign.
like the movie Junior? Is that Arnold Schwarzenegger who gets pregnant in Junior?
I don't know. I just know like back in the, like not too long ago, this was like males like those get pregnant.
Males get pregnant. So somebody who identifies as male, that's kind of where they're going, is saying they're male.
Oh, not actual dude though.
That's kind of the debate and the controversy.
Let me just. I'm not trying to be ignorant. Like a man, like with a.
A trans man.
Like, how's that possible?
I don't think so.
You're saying, can you have a baby? Why did you say that?
I'm just playing with
I don't think so.
Like they're giving some chemicals for men to lactate also, so you could breastfeed. But I think it's harmful to the baby. So there's
Wait, no.
Right.
There's a man on TikTok that's pregnant right now. Well, he
right.
might have had his baby like a year ago, but he's really like he wasn't a transgender. I don't know how that baby got in there.
So nobody explains
He
whatsoever.
was black. I gotta find him on TikTok.
Okay, but like,
Yes, they are gay.
I feel like there's a
They
lot
are
on
gay.
TikTok.
They are gay. Hold on.
Okay, but we don't do it. So maybe
If they were to get pregnant,
Yeah.
like that's the only way they can. That's the only way they can.
So like, is a man born with a uterus? Is a man born with
Then
like?
there's intersex people, like it's people born with both, but then they just like they live their life as whoever they want to be. So then they can still,
You're saying they have a penis and a vagina,
yeah.
but do they have a uterus? That's what I would
Yeah.
wonder. Okay,
Internal organs, some of the internal organs are missing.
Oh.
they're like
Well, I don't
not
know
fully
how you
formed.
get there. That was
I don't know, I just.
This is all confusing.
Just from a different
So
life,
it's
like,
real.
a lot of
Baby-
intersex couples.
Yeah.
Right,
I
right.
mean, it looks like it's pretty.
So here is. I wanted to show you guys.
It literally say hashtag. This is not who I'm talking about. This is man I live in the woods and he be on his porch on TikTok pregnant.
I do believe you.
Medical media.
Anyway.
So here's your first trimester, just so,
Click on the link in the description.
because it's interesting. If you're, just to see how it develops.
Pregnancy is the time period during which baby develops inside your uterus. It usually lasts about 40 weeks, starting from the first day of your last menstrual period. These 40 weeks are grouped into 3 segments called trimesters. The first trimester lasts about 13 weeks. During the first 2 weeks, you aren't actually pregnant because of the way your due date is calculated,
That's when you can see.
but your body is preparing for pregnancy.
He drops an egg.
During the second week, an egg is released from your ovary in a process called ovulation. Around the end of the second week, the baby is conceived in a process called conception or fertilization. This happens when a sperm from the father merges with the egg from the mother, usually in the fallopian tubes. During conception, genetic material from the mother and father combine to form a unique genetic code.
And it's usually just like a teaspoon of sperm, but it's like a million. So like,
They ejaculate like 3 million little.
right,
3
right.
million
It's
little-
not that much. Again, you need mucus the whole way because the mucus helps keep it, feeds it, it keeps the sperm safe. And without mucus, that's why Dr. Creighton found that for some Catholic people use natural family planning, like they won't use any birth control, and it helps you to get pregnant too. So it can help you know when those 10 days not to have sex and then the 20 days you can have sex. So some people are like, no way, it doesn't work. But there's like scientific research studies that are pretty solid on that. See if we can get you the rest of this.
Determining sex, hair color, eye color, and hundreds of other characteristics. This new single cell, called a zygote or embryo, is the beginning of a new human being. During the third week, the zygote divides to form a hollow ball of cells called a blastocyst. The cells of the blastocyst begin to arrange themselves into 2 groups. The inner group will develop into your baby, and the outer group will form tissues to nourish and protect it.
So that is the first 3 weeks it was fertile. It doesn't have like the heart and the brain for the next 3 weeks. So in like week 3, 4, and 5, that is, what'd you say? It does look like that the way it showed in the picture. So I think they're going to show you the change and maybe why they have the heartbeat law in Ohio and different stuff like that. So it doesn't
Week
have
4,
that.
the blastocyst moves into the uterus, where it hatches out of its outer layer. Once freed from this outer layer, the blastocyst can
Just
embed
rolls.
itself in the thickened lining of the wall of the uterus in a process called implantation.
Mm-hmm. The pictures are cool though. That's
Weeks 5 to 10 are referred to as the embryonic period. All of the major organs start to grow, such as the brain, spinal cord, and heart.
That's how we look.
The heart begins to beat during this period.
it sounds fast
Structures
too.
called the placenta and umbilical cord begin providing life support for the embryo. They bring nutrients and oxygen from
So
the body.
yes, a lot of cultures do cook up their placenta with eggs. Have what?
They said it's really healthy for you. You can turn it into like chocolate.
You're saying what's that?
It's
Dude,
healthy.
eat that.
The tail?
Yeah, right here. Yeah, that was that.
The end of the spinal cord?
Yeah, but
Like the spine? That's the base.
It's like where the spine ends. They'll show it disappear in a second. So just give it like another, it'll disappear.
not fair.
There you go.
Bones and muscles start to grow beneath thin, transparent skin.
Ice strong.
Toward the end of the embryonic period, the embryo starts to look more human.
Isn't that nuts? Yes. Question.
So, started, because you just had the little clump of cells.
Yep.
And then the clump of cells was rolling.
Yep.
How does the umbilical cord attach to the woman, the baby?
Oh, it showed it.
You want me to go back?
Wanna see mine?
It showed it being formed.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
After it rolled all the way down, it came out, rolled.
Oh,
And
rolling.
right there. Back.
Which I talk about.
That's
How the umbilical.
You want me to play it again?
Yes.
All right, let's do
I
it.
didn't, I was watching it so time.
Oh,
Weeks 5 to 10 are referred to as the embryonic period. All of the major organs start to grow, such as the
brain,
brain, spinal
fingerprints.
cord, and heart. The heart begins to beat during this period.
It's at week 5, so literally 3 weeks after conception. Because the first 2, it is. Believe me, it was scary enough. I waited till I was 42 to have a baby. I was like,
So how old is your kid? So if you was to get he just had
7 months.
7 months? 3, 2.
I have a 3-year-old, a 2-year-old, and a 7-month-old.
Oh, wow.
Come on, I just like you.
We had 3 and 2.5 years.
Just like then.
Y'all
I heard that.
have those kids that are in school like, oh yeah, my mom's 53.
Yes,
And then it's gonna be.
I will be
that
63.
one kid that was like, girl, I'm 22.
I know. That's why I'm trying to stay. So yeah, this is why at 5, a lot of states at 5, no more abortions.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it has a heartbeat, it has a brain, it has even fingerprints. It is crazy. It's like, oh shit. Two more, no.
They bring nutrients and oxygen from the mother to the embryo. Bones and
They're getting
muscles
there.
start to grow beneath thin, transparent skin.
No.
Toward the end of the embryonic period, the embryo starts.
What'd you ask? I'm sorry. It's pretty much everything. Like by week 10, it should have everything. It's 90% formed at right, and that's why it's so vital. It's that first trimester is so vital, and so your nutrition, the omega-3s, fatty acids, the things that you try to eat, greens. I don't know. The doctor gives you. My wife had to take. She had factor 5, which is blood clotting, and you have to take shots to not blood clot, and that's what Perdomo's had, and they were thinking maybe a blood clot is what caused the stillbirth. So there's lots of things that can happen. You just got to make sure you see the doctor. You know, it's a lot. It's a lot of info.
At the end of week 10, the embryo is now called a fetus and is about 1¼ inches long from head to neck. During the next few weeks, the arms and legs grow longer and start to move. Fingers and toes finish developing,
Wait, so they get fingernails
and the
and stuff in
baby's
there?
face becomes well formed.
Everything.
By the end of the first
They got
trimester,
hair.
your body experiences many changes during the first trimester. This is due to changing levels of chemicals, called hormones, circulating through your body. The most common first sign of pregnancy is that your menstrual periods have stopped. You may
That's
have
true.
other symptoms as well, such as nausea, often called morning sickness.
Yes.
So like, you can still get your period and like,
Yeah.
it's crazy how like the implantation, it's not like when you labor now. You
That's
gotta-
how my period starts.
Usually your period
Like, you
stops.
will still have your period, and, like, I know someone that was pregnant and had a period the whole time and had a
That's what I'm saying, like, that can happen.
You could have bleeding. I just don't know if
Yeah, it's not gonna be like no full flood, blood like a full
But
period.
it's gonna be bleeding.
Like,
you can still bleed. Yeah. Sometimes so, and we talk about that later on. Like you could have something where the baby pulls off of the, it's attached and it rips off. That happened, and my wife peed out a bunch. She freaked out and cried that she lost the baby. We went in, that was at 8 weeks. We heard the heartbeat because they're like, no, the baby just pulled off and reattached. But they like, we freaked out that it just rolled out. She was like crying and shit. And it's, I mean, it's tiny at that point. It's like that. No, we didn't. So she thought it was. She thought it was. She was like crying. We went to the emergency room. It was sad, but it was fine. So we, yeah. But it was like, ah. Ectopic. It means that the baby implanted in the fallopian tube right here. So instead of going all the way out implanting, it does it here, and that can kill the mom. So that's where they talk about it's important to. I don't know about that.
Yeah, your back will be ready.
Like, no, like you won't show, like basically like how the sperm goes to the egg, like maybe it goes. I don't know, but it's going back into the baby.
Now the second computer is about to die.
Like that?
Yep.
Yeah, you let them die. Like,
he going.
I'm trying to let you out of class early.
Yes.
yeah.
Both of them dead.
I have a charger.
Okay.
All right.
You got one charger or
The other two are upstairs. Anyway, so yeah, those, does that answer like for the first trimester questions? I know there's quite a bit. Usually not. The earliest they say is here. 24 weeks, it has a chance of survival. I had a friend who had one at 21 weeks. Last year, his wife was flying home to South America and like probably shouldn't have been on a plane and went into emergency labor. She had at 21 or 22 weeks. He's still alive. The baby's still alive.
Your baby can be little and small. It's just gonna get raised in the incubator until the
Yep.
baby
Maybe have
have
developmental issues real bad. That's so sad.
Like CP mostly. Like he's still all there. You could have cerebral palsy, but and your brain is fully there. It's just like maybe stiff one side or
That shit wasn't working.
right, which was so sad. It's like, but like, how do you say that to the mom too? She
No,
just,
would never.
I know, right? No,
Like, people like, they're like, yeah, I'm gonna wait to have like this baby moon and go try. You shouldn't
But-
just get on a plane. You should just-
right,
You shouldn't just go. Just chill out.
right.
Oh no.
Go car driving,
We're going to Jamaica.
right? Yeah. That's the embryonic fluid. So you see, it might actually be on the next set. Well, there's the placenta, the amnion bag. So the embryo floats inside of like the bag, and it's fluid. In the past, they used to like draw it out to like do tests, and they found out that was harmful to the baby too. So they don't even puncture that bag anymore because that can be bad. It does talk about spontaneous or induced any of pregnancy, 75% occur in the first 12 weeks. Social workers play a supportive role. Some people have it and then regret it. And
Can you go back to the next slide real quick?
the last one
Yeah.
on abortion,
I don't know, me personally.
What is social workers? What do they support?
often you're going to be the therapist after that occurs for whatever like there, it's a trauma, a loss, no matter what.
Yes.
So as a counselor, people will come and talk to you and have just stuff to talk about, like why and how and what things went down. And so that to be a therapist, it requires us to get our master's. Yeah.
So when you going into labor and a baby flew over,
It could. Well, the baby's supposed to flip at like 36 or 37 weeks. Like the head starts aiming down.
so if it coming off me first,
It can be dangerous, sure. You might get a C-section if that happens.
Maybe just know what to turn, like you get a little too spacious.
That's a good question. How the hell does a baby know to do a flip? Oh, yeah. Right. Because you got your lungs up here, kidney and heart, so maybe baby's like, I'm going to roll over where there's more room and a pillow down here.
Okay, that's probably what it is.
Yeah.
Cause they heads is where the whole
He saw the light.
Oh, you're right. You guys see him flipping over here?
Yeah.
And so my wife had a 24-hour labor one. The first one was 24 hours of labor.
24 hours?
She did it with the 50, 65.
So y'all should say we just sit on our babies getting all these contractions, but the baby don't be coming out.
It's exhausting.
You're gonna be dilated.
What's that? Do I cook for her? I cook for her whenever I can. Yeah. Yes. Oh yeah. She got a push gift. She got all kinds of shit. Everything. Thousands of dollars.
I got 4 kids at home.
Oh my God.
I'm just playing. I'm just playing. Like, stop talking to me.
So it is. So one, maybe you all can tell me, why is it now that the average babies per couple is only 1.6?
Because the cost of living is high.
Okay, that's a good excuse.
Because-
2 strollers
wait.
and 2 bottles.
Right.
What
Okay.
was the question?
Women are starting to stand up and they decide not to. And we don't want kids.
So we just end all world population, or how does? Okay. Okay.
What's the question?
2 households,
He
they,
basically asking like,
what's different is
why? You gotta
both
first tell like a big
parents have to work.
population.
I know.
Everybody different babies.
Cost of living.
Yeah, that's what I'm like.
So it used to be like the highest we had was maybe right. Well, and so in the 80s it took like 1 full-time job. In the 90s it took about 2 full-time jobs. Now it seems to take like 2.5 to 3.5 full-time jobs to pay for kids. So 2 people are working 2 jobs. Right. And that makes it rough. Right. So that's some of the issues, but that 1.6, do you guys know the most populous country by chance? China just got passed by somebody.
That computer.
Oh, no, that was the last.
Like, that really is on the edge of that table.
He said, shrugs, I got 2 more. Right.
I know, but it's about it's dying.
I know I can do it. Give me on Facebook.
He gonna get on Apple Care. He got Apple, all Apple. He don't care. Apple Care.
You guys are